farewell level 5. We hope we never see you again. We told you yesterday morning. Professor Sam McConkey joined us and he told us how well Galway was doing, and now the shops are opening. So 12 minutes ago some of the shops started to open. Kenny Deery, Chief Executive of Galway Chamber, joins me on the line. He's keeping a very close eye on this for us this morning, and he joins me on the line. Kenny, good morning to you.
Good morning, Keith, and happy 1st of December.
Happy phase 3 of all of this coronavirus. Again, there's a sense of excitement about this, and I know the pubs are upset, that the wet pubs, that they can't open. But the traders are very much ready for trading this morning.
They certainly are. I think this is a huge step in the right direction, both in terms of business and helping those businesses open their tills and get cash flow going again. But I think, Keith, psychologically there's a boost as well, in terms of people looking towards being able to get out and about in a safe way and mingle and begin to do the physical shopping. I know a certain amount, certainly looking at the online transactions on Post some days last week, we're processing volumes of packages in the 7 figures, which is unheard of nearly in many ways. So lots of people have already been doing some shopping. We're estimating about 50% of that is Irish, which is excellent. So that's many businesses that have pivoted and gone online already. And we've many great examples of that around Galway. But without a doubt, today is a step in the right direction. And I think once we come to Friday and we see some aspects of hospitality being able to reopen as well, Keith, it's much needed. It's a much needed boost. Hopefully we'll see strong trading for the month of December. And I think the key thing to make sure that we never see that 5 again for us in Galway is, to still follow the steps and the advice. I think some businesses are nervously reopening again today, and they're trying to make sure that they've everything right, that they've the sanitisation station in the right order, that the perspex is up, that the queues are going the right way. They'll be training their staff members, and I think we just urge members of the public to, 1, wear masks, and 2, to be patient and to be that little bit gracious and let the Christmas spirit feed in. The Minister for Health earlier was saying he has no issue with queues, and I think it'll be great to see queues, but let's have them orderly, safe, distant, and a spirit of December and Christmas and goodwill that's needed.
If you go back to March, and then there was the lockdown then, or the close down in March, and then the traders did, and pubs and everything closed down, and then they went to reopen again, and you joined me on the morning, just like you're doing this morning, and I remember you were telling me about how Anthony Ryan's had put in a one-way system, and we have learned so much since then, that hopefully for this run into Christmas at this stage, that everyone will just adhere to wearing the mask in crowded areas and open streets, adhering to the instructions from those in these retail outlets, making sure that you wear the mask, sanitize, all the basic stuff that we now know so much about. And if they do that, hopefully we'll have a safe Christmas.
Absolutely, and I think it was so alien to us in March.
It was.
And even down to those of us now being glass wearers have mastered the art of having a hybrid of glasses and mask and somehow not steaming up. And you can smile about it, but these were impediments. And I know, working with the team for Access for All, there's still a cohort of people who have huge concerns about using the city. And that's where I think that being patient and having that spirit of goodwill over the next few weeks, let's try and make the city as inclusive as possible and be patient, knowing that certain people maybe have a hearing difficulty and can't hear someone speaking behind a mask, those with visual disabilities as well. We just need, I think, to take the Christmas spirit, take the health and safety guidelines we have to follow, and let's make this as enjoyable a Christmas for all, and support our local businesses and our communities. And I think, it's this January, February, March is going to be a long period of time in the new year that hopefully we'll maintain level 3 and even come to level 2. But for now, over the next few weeks, many people, if indicators, and I know it's not the same across the board, but if indicators are to be believed, people have a few bob saved up because they haven't been able to spend as much. So let's support our local economy, our local community, and support jobs, because the money that will be taken in over the next few weeks, Keith, with my bank hat on from my previous life, will help the cash flow and pay the bills January, February through March and get people through to St. Paddy's Day. So it's really important.
It really is. And of course, in the last couple of months, indeed, the Galway City Business Association and yourselves have come together as one. So there's just one representative body now for the businesses in Galway like that. So it's one voice, one march forward.
It is, and listen, we're delighted to work with the team from GCBA. I have many memories of great events, the shopping and dining guide launch, and indeed many campaigns that GCBA have ran over the last near decade that they've been in existence. And when you're looking at working with local authorities, and I know you have the team on from the Mayor and indeed the CEO on later, it makes sense to try and have a unified voice so that we can work collaboratively together, we can be more progressive. And I think the GCBA did a great amount of work for retail, and the challenge for us in Chamber now, Keith, is to make sure that we continue to work with them and support them in the way that we have many constituent communities we work with, attracting investment in, helping Irish businesses grow, helping startups grow, but equally helping hospitality, tourism and retail survive and hopefully thrive as we move back to some sort of normalisation next year. So the last meeting of GCBA took place on the 10th of November, and I was delighted to be able to attend it and address the members that were there that evening and just talk about what it is we are going to do over the next few weeks and months to try and work together and embed some members of that group who are so well intended and have done a huge amount of work for the city, embed them into our workings and our committees so that we can actually serve the needs of the city into the future.
Now, the whole shop local, no matter if you're listening to us in Tuam, if you're listening to us in Ballinasloe, if you're listening to us in Clifton, if you're listening to us in Athenry, wherever you are listening to us today, I mean, shopping local is crucial to the future of the economy. Now, and we can say it glibly, but I mean, as you said there, from a banking point of view, this is a lifeline to those businesses that have been serving us for many years.
All those businesses and business owners will have meetings set up with their banks for their annual review in January and February, and the conversation will be, how did you do in December, those that have been closed. And I think it's when we look at it, and this from once the Champion Green initiative was launched earlier in the summer, I remember doing an interview out in Ballinasloe, Keith, on a news station at the time, and it was talking about, if you support your local shop, then you're supporting the contribution or the donation they'll make to a raffle next March. You're supporting the fact that your neighbour's child, or indeed one of your own kids, will be taken on in part-time work to help co-fund their college education. This isn't about, we see what happens with the big international conglomerates and the big stores. Okay, they're needed for a variety and a range of product coming into the city, but realistically, the stickier stores that will be there to employ your children and our children and the neighbours and everybody else into the future are local businesses who contribute to the local economy, who spend locally and who support local. So we cannot drive that message enough, that for someone, and the Amazons of this world will shoot us, and I know there's certain bits that are needed from it, but if you're clicking on Amazon this morning, think, where locally can I get that? What local business can I get a voucher from to actually be the gifts that we can give this year that's supporting Galway, not others.
All right, so you will be keeping an eye, you'll be walking up and down Shop Street, you'll be the guardian of the peace on behalf of the Chamber today. You won't be correcting, but you'll be observing, and observing continuously indeed over the
I think observing, and there's one interesting point in that sometimes a lot goes on social media and people take pictures of, God, this shop isn't following procedures. I genuinely think it's a best endeavours approach. So many businesses are nervously reopening today. If you do observe something that doesn't sit comfortable with you, just have a very discreet word in the ear of the business owner and say, listen, I think you need to correct that, rather than, let's try and work with each other and help each other, rather than taking a picture, going to social media, and then all of a sudden there's 30 or 40 comments on a trail. Let's help each other.
All right. Kenny Deery, thank you indeed for joining us. I'm throwing the holy water at you. Away you go, up and down the street, and I wish all of the traders the very best of luck, and we hope that it goes extremely well for them. And don't forget, if you're nervous of going into a shop, you can click and collect.